Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another episode of Test Chamber. I'm your host, Andrew Reiner. I got Joe Juba with me.
Hey!
I got Dan Ryckert with me.
Hey, fellas.
And as you saw, we're playing the horribly named game Menu.
Yeah. Well, we actually had to avoid the title screen because it might have been a spoiler to people who haven't played it.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems like a bad idea. When
No,
designing
it's
a
one
game.
of those. It's one of those. It's one of those things that changes the title screen the more you progress through the game. So when you start up the game, it's not a spoiler. But because right now we're loading a New Game Plus save, it's sort of got the end game title screen up. So,
Gotcha.
Anyway.
We're playing the last story, and don't freak out. It isn't actually the last story. I heard there's a new Star Trek movie coming out, and that's going to have a new story as well.
Yeah, there will be other stories in the world.
And this is by Sakaguchi, the old Final Fantasy wizard, the director of all those old ones. Mm-hmm. And it's developed by Mistwalker. They did Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, and a DS game I can't remember that I never played.
That sounds about right. I don't even know if it came out here. Was it Ash? Or
Yeah, what was that called?
Never said we'd be playing tag.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Is
So
it a cover-based RPG?
sort of.
I'd rather think of the
Cover is an element in the combat system. It is kind of funny though too because like you get like bonuses. You can take cover in the middle of combat, which gives you bonuses because enemies will like lose track of you, right? Except there is something that's kind of funny because if they lose track of you in obvious ways sometimes. It's like they could be right in front of you and you might like
Whoa.
yeah, don't worry about that yet. Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, the cover thing is cool because it lets you like, it opens up attacks that you wouldn't have otherwise. So if there are a bunch of dudes in front of you and then you take cover and they sort of lose track of you, then you can like jump out from cover with a powerful attack, which is good.
And Joe, this is on Wii, exclusively on Wii.
Exclusively, yep.
And it's part of that, what was that code name thing? Project Raindrop?
Operation
Umbrella?
Rainfall, I think it was.
Okay.
It included this. It included Xenoblade Chronicles and some game that had Pandora in the name that I don't remember.
And that's not coming out here.
I don't think is coming out.
I think it was Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow. Is that the one?
Yeah, that sounds correct, Dan.
Okay, all right.
Once again, you contribute a lot.
So you're hitting people and doing like 4,000 plus damage. Is that just because you're doing New Game Plus and you're super powerful here?
Yeah. Like I've got some end game weapons and armor and stuff on here.
So you're just showing off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I'm the best. No, I figured that it'd be good in Test Chamber to sort of give an idea of just like the flow of combat and stuff.
Let's move.
So.
Oh, you can move the cutscenes like Metal Gear?
That might be a new
Or is
game.
that just a janky camera?
That might be a New Game Plus thing. Oh no, that's no, it's
Are
not.
you're doing that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing that.
Cameraman just doesn't care. Just so unfocused.
So one thing that's kind of cool about this, and I'm gonna. Oh dang it! I was gonna try and bring up the menu. We'll get to that in a minute.
Return to the shoulder pads. I like it.
Okay, so you have.
That pillar.
Oh, that's cool.
Yurik, hit that pillar with your magic. The pillar, not the reptiles. I see. I'll give it a shot.
Just do what I said.
That worked.
Zale, it's the reptiles' horn.
Okay, there we go.
Dragon and
Come
Serena
on.
messed up.
Oh, just.
Yurik, let's go.
That looks
No one's dying
awesome.
while I'm here.
Sorry, guys. There we go.
Today I'll
So
Do you have to play it with the remote, or can you use the classic controller?
you can use the class controller. We're using the remote right now. So you can go in here and actually like change. You can like customize your armor to some degree. So
Can you get rid of his pouty look?
Well, no, his stupid face stays the same, but you can do things like look at all this stuff. Like this is all just stuff that I have as part of the armor I have equipped, but you can be like, I don't like these things, and you can take it off like piece by piece.
So I assume this is the game, Joe, when I walked by your desk and everyone was naked?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can also do that, and that's good for Dan. So yeah, so you,
those two can look after themselves.
What's he doing?
They're my friends. I can't just sit here.
You're fighting a reptile man. You gotta put on some stuff.
I was doing this for a while, and Reiner couldn't stop tweeting about it because he'd walk by my desk
Dude,
and
it
he'd
was-
see.
Stop. Don't get
It's fine if you do it for like 5 minutes to get a laugh out of it, but you did it for days. Days on end. You're running around naked.
Okay, there was like a day where I was naked. That's true. Not me personally, but rather like the characters.
Why is everybody shooting yarn at each other?
So that's actually, I mean, that's one of the cool things about the game is in the combat system you can sort of see. It reminds me a little bit of like Final Fantasy 12. It sort of shows you where people's attention is focused. Whoops, I wasn't supposed to do that yet. Oh well. So you also have this power that you can use that basically acts as like an aggro draw. So that's what I have. That's the blue thing that's going on right now, is it makes all the enemies like want to come and attack me.
What's the pink yarn?
I think that means that they're attacking me.
The archers on the bridge are calling reinforcements.
But, and if it's yellow, I think it means that they've sort of like actively found me and are in the process of like attacking.
Huh. That's really cool, actually.
So then that guy up there, like we can try this.
When do you get to the part where you keep bonking your head on that sign in the village?
Oh, that's a little ways out, yeah.
Tripping on apples.
So, but it is kind of cool, these sort of active combat, like one of the things Last Story does well, I feel like, is that it sort of recognizes that there are some traditions in Japanese RPGs that people are kind of sick of, or if not sick of them, at least kind of hungry for something different. So I think that that's one of the cool things about the sort of battle system that it takes is instead of just, you're not just picking all of your commands from this menu that's out in front of you, you're like actively participating. And kind of like the Tales game do that too. It's not action-based RPGs isn't totally new, but
This looks fun.
yeah, I mean, like, and as I'm attacking, I'm not like button mashing or anything. All you need to do is like push the stick in the direction that you want to attack, and you do that.
Is there any kind of like Knights of the Old Republic type, hey, you go do this thing, you do this thing? Like management of your team, or?
There is. So that's what this is. You need to fill up a meter to do it. So you see that flashing blue bar underneath Zale? Yeah. When that's full, you can enter this mode. And then you can, like, this is as involved as it gets. Is you just sort of give people commands, tell them what to do. And
So it's very Dragon Age 1.
So then they sort of
that's cool.
Okay.
they'll do their like special attacks.
Yeah, eat it.
Well,
Ooh, rare item.
Yeah.
A lot of loot.
A fair bit. There's, I wouldn't put it up there with the games that like really. It's not super focused on it. It's kind of weird the way that it like you upgrade things. It's really backloaded. Like you start to get the best weapons and the most interesting weapons really late in the game, and before that you're doing a lot of like, heavy armor and feather armor and hunter's armor, and like a lot of them are sort of the same. But
wow, the ruler of Lazarus.
so this is what everyone's like default costumes are supposed to look like. Before I
you
make
get them all naked.
Before I make them
in cutscenes.
But all that magic is dangerous.
yes.
Okay.
It draws all kinds of monsters to the area.
Yeah. So like there actually was a moment where like there was some big dramatic ceremony thing that my character was taking part in, and he was just totally standing up there with like hundreds of people staring at him in his underpants.
Ladies aren't shaped like that.
Yeah, right.
Look at that.
Anyway.
Wait, what?
Ladies aren't shaped like that. It's like not even a torso.
Here's with the best
It's like 6 inches wide. That's unrealistic.
So what we just saw
I
was
think he has the same torso.
he might
People gonna
actually
eat a burger or something.
what we just saw and who we're running around with here are like this little band of mercenaries, and that's kind of one of the focuses on
Take a good look.
of the story is that there's not a whole lot in the story that would like blow your mind in terms of surprises, right? Like there are a lot of sort of familiar twists and stuff like that, but it does try to focus on these characters and make them a big part and sort of make you feel like this is a band of like a band of friends,
Right.
And they try and build that up a little bit.
Joe, do me a favor. Put on some clothes.
No, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him, Joe.
Oh, sorry. It's underpants time.
I want to go back to a point Dan brought up earlier because I didn't completely understand it.
Yeah.
tripping on apples? Is that like LSD laced apples,
No,
or are
it's
you
funnier
like
than
slipping
that.
on them?
It's funnier than
No,
that.
you're slipping on them. When we probably won't get there in this video, but when you get to the town, you can sort of walk around, and there are signs hanging around that you can like bop your head on, and he sort of complains about it. And then there are little canisters of like lemons that you can knock over, and then people and you trip on them, and it's funny.
Yeah, it's good.
So everybody in the village will trip on these lemons.
Yeah, anyone who walks by. Yep. You can also get prank banana peels to shoot out of your crossbow, so people will slip on those
Oh, that's
also.
great.
Which I found actually to be hilariously useful on one of the very last bosses of the game.
Banana peels?
Yeah, because you need to knock him down in order to like get this thing that he's carrying.
Was he in a go-kart at the time?
So you need to knock this guy down to get this thing he's carrying. So you can do that like normally by like doing damage or whatever. Or I also discovered that if you shoot bananas at him, he trips and falls down and drops this thing.
Well, Joe, I know you're also a fan of this. Does it come anywhere near the hilarity of Raiden slipping on pigeon poop? Has any trip and fall in a video game been funnier than the first time you slipped on pigeon
This
crap
sounds
in
like
Metal Gear
multiple
Solid 2?
people can be falling on poop or
Yeah,
lemons.
this
But Raiden is a little like whoop, 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 like a little like Looney Tunes thing and falls right on his ass.
I think for Raiden, part of the added like satisfaction of that was the fact that he wasn't Solid Snake and you didn't like him immediately, so you just wanted to see bad things happen.
thought
But
he
you
was
laugh
awesome.
too. You laugh too when Solid Snake tries
Not
to dive
right
down
away,
the
you
stairs.
didn't.
I did.
No,
I
no
thought
one
he was
did.
awesome from the outset. He's like flipping over railings. He was great. He gets a bad rap.
I'm
I
pretty
agree.
mad
mad
apples.
I agree. He gets a bad rap. I like Raiden.
I agree he does, and after playing after playing the whole game,
Stick together.
I like Raiden a lot.
Easier to scout with fewer people.
Even after Metal Gear Solid 2, at the beginning, after that, as soon as his chapter starts, I did not like him.
Why don't you have nipples? You don't have any nipples.
Zale,
You know, it's a medical condition.
you better get some rest while you can.
I can't help.
Uh-oh. Cutscene?
Yeah.
Something's going to come through that wall, right?
What was that?
Okay, I think you're right, Reiner. I need to get some clothes on this guy.
Yeah, it's disturbing, dude.
He kind
Nothing
of
against him. He's a pretty guy, but I mean, just
He kind of
you're in
reminds.
battle. Like, I worry about him.
He does remind me of Raiden a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
Complete with like the little dog tag thing.
Joe, did you enter the contest in Metal Gear 2 to get to get your name put on a dog tag?
No, I didn't.
I entered it. I didn't get it.
You're this big, manly man.
So what'd you end up thinking about this, Joe? What did you give it as a score?
I don't think we can talk about that yet. The review goes up on August 14th.
Oh, okay.
This way.
Well,
So-
stay tuned for that.
Move. Catching up. Not much further.
So yeah, you can tune in and come back then for the full review. This is more of a just checking it out sort of a thing.
Unrelated, Joe, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10, but it's a quarter of a number or an even number. What's the first number that comes to mind? Has nothing to do with what we're doing, just a fun little game we're playing.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that.
I'll hold them up here. You search for another way out.
So okay, I'm supposed to search for a way out. So this is normally where you get this power that I've been using.
You search for
On
another
that
way
wall?
out.
Well, it's in this section. Like I'm not supposed to have this blue arm power yet. This is where you get it. Hold on, come on. All right.
Jeez, it's just...
So are you taking away the attributes of this armor as you take it
There
off? or
are
is it
no
strict-
removable parts.
I see one.
So like when you take away the visible armor, is that also taking away their stats? Or
No,
it's
all-
purely cosmetic?
all that says. How about that, Reiner? Does that do it for you?
Put a whole bunch of stuff above him and then there's no pants below. That's funny.
There we
There
go.
we go.
Boots. Oh, I saw his pants on.
Okay, there we go. So,
You search for another way out.
what was I going to say about this? No, I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, it's got. Generally, if you're a fan of Japanese role-playing games, there's a lot here that you'll find familiar, I think, but not necessarily
I'll hold them up here.
so familiar that it's not worth checking out if you're looking for something, especially on the Wii in the genre. Considering that apart from Xenoblade Chronicles, there aren't a whole lot of really great options.
Yeah, Kirby Epic Yarn was pretty good.
Huh.
Dead end.
So I noticed when you get close to a wall, it says hide. Is there a little bit of stealth? Like, do you get a sneak attack on an enemy?
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about before with... Oh, great. Well, and I mean, the character models in this are really impressive, I think, too. But yeah, when you hide, that's how you make characters kind of lose track of you.
Oh, okay.
Normally it works pretty well. There are times when they're just standing right in front of you and they're like, where did he go?
What just happened?
Yep.
Is that game over?
Nope. It's all part of the plan.
She'll be okay.
Seren!
It's just a Nerf arrow.
Everyone sort of got this like British or some sort of like European accent. So like British or Cockney or Irish or whatever. It's kind of a...
Yeah, the design's a little Victorian, right?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely has a very European kind of medieval, I mean, a classic sort of fantasy feel to it.
What's going on here? Is your guy tripping out?
Run away.
Flashbacks?
Yeah.
Sail.
Okay, that's not his mom.
Was his mom in the flashback?
Yeah.
So he's still tripping out?
Yeah, you got it. He's tripping on apples.
Hopped up on goofballs.
I'm sick of it. Sick of all the pain.
This seems pretty cool. I know you can't talk about your score or your thoughts on it yet, but this game definitely has me intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll definitely want to check it out a little bit at least. Like any game, it's got some problems, but it also has some things going for it.
Does it have that Mistwalker touch?
That Mistwalker touch?
The creator of Final Fantasy? Is it going to engross me with its story? Is the combat going to have, a little bit of a classic vibe to it?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely... It feels old school in a lot of ways, but not in the ways where it feels like it's hanging on to all of these like stagnant mechanics and things like that. But with that being said, I wouldn't hope too hard for a story that's going to surprise you. I mean, as someone who's, Reiner, you've played a lot of RPGs. I don't think there's going to be any twists that you don't see coming a mile away. But it's still, it's kind of like I'm going to use a weird analogy for a second here, but like I'm a fan of horror movies, right? So if I go and if I watch Friday the 13th, like, spoiler alert, all the teenagers are going to die except like one of them.
Right.
So when I go see a horror movie, I don't complain that it's super familiar because I know what's going to happen. Like there is some strength in that, in a formula too.
Protect those who are precious to me.
At the same time, though, there needs to be something surprising to I don't know, to put a twist on it a little bit or something, just so maybe use the familiar stuff as a framework, but like you build off of it, And I think that's the area where I think maybe Last Story, like, it has the formula down, but I don't know that it, from a storytelling perspective, does a whole lot to really throw anything fresh into the equation. I know that sounds kind of vague, but I don't want to get too much into the details at this point. But
I think that's a pretty good look at it. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait to see what your final verdict is on it on August 14th.
Yep.
So come back to our site and check that out. Dan, what do you think?
What a pain in the ass.
Dan, the two times you talked were when the guy was naked and when you were talking about slipping on apples.
If there's one genre in all of gaming, I'm just kind of
It's like
I've had trouble getting into, it's JRPG.
what have you tried?
The only ones I beat are like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X was the first one I beat, and then Chrono Trigger once it came out on DS I did. And Final Fantasy IV, I've started 7 and 9 and 12, and I always play several hours of them, sometimes up to like 20 hours or something before I kind of lose interest. I typically don't like these kinds of stories, but I think it's turn-based combat that kind of turns me off a lot, which is actually, watching this, it's a different type of combat, and I like the idea of that. But you're talking about, you're just kind of pointing the stick in a direction. I much prefer the, like, Devil May Cry, where it's like I can do some really cool stuff. I've got so much. I can be creative with my attacks and stuff. I don't want to just point at some a-hole and wait till the numbers fill up a thing.
Did you like the JRPGs that you beat? Like
Final
10?
Fantasy X I loved. I thought that was a great game. Chrono Trigger I had a lot of fun with. Yeah, I mean, I've had fun with a lot of JRPGs. It's just it's tough to keep my interest with those for usually the duration of a game, which is why I've only beaten 2.
What if instead of getting your guy naked, you could put him in a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt?
You know, I would like that, but I still don't know if I'd beat the game.
That wouldn't be enough.
No, unless like it's Vince McMahon, like the big demon guy at the end.
Yeah. What if,
Okay.
Yeah. What if everything was WWE themed?
Enemy reinforcements.
I would play a WWE themed JRPG. I'm saying that definitively right now. Not just skins.
Kickstarter.
Not just skin. Don't just skin these guys with like a DX or whatever. I want to see the whole story as a WWE JRPG.
All right, someone out there get the Kickstarter going.
I would absolutely play that.
All right, Joe, thanks for this look. I'm definitely going to check this out. This looks cool. This looks right up my alley. And thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you next week with more Test Chambers.
Let's deal with the remaining ones.